Welcome back to TempStar, where we help you harness the power of technologies. In today's video, we're continuing our series on website customization. This time, we'll be focusing on how to edit content on your website to make it truly your own. Let's dive back in with Kay, who will walk us through this next stage. Let's get started.
Editing the content. So in the previous segment, we were in the customizer. So let's click here to close that window. And we're back in the dashboard. So there are two ways you can access the content. Either you click, for example, here on pages, all pages, and then you hover over the page you want to edit and click on edit. Or you can hover over the name of your website and click on visit site. Then go to the page you want to edit and click on edit page. Now in my case, I want to go back to the home page and I want to edit the home page. So I'm going to click on edit page in the admin bar. And let's start by editing text. So in order to edit text, well, it's super easy. You just click where you want to edit, type your text, and you're done. Yeah, as simple as that. Now, little tip. When you click inside any block and then you look here on the right-hand side panel, you can see the name of the block, and that can really help because one might think this is just a paragraph block, for example, but no, this is an info box block from Spectra. You can recognize those blocks because they have a blue color compared to the vanilla blocks from WordPress, which have a black color. But I'm digressing. So once you've just clicked, you can change the text, and let's look at some other ones. So here, once again, it's an info block. Now this one is a heading block. And here, once again, we have an info block. So you get the idea, just change the text. And then once you're done, just click on update and voila. Next, customizing buttons. So we already saw in the customizer, we have a global styling for buttons, but you can also change those individually. Now, once again here, this is an info box block. So it's not a button block, but we could add a button block. But the idea is to show you how you can actually link to a page. So here we are on an info box block. And here, as you can see in the general tab, I have a call to action sub tab. So from here, I can change the link. So this is what we call a relative link. And in case you don't know, there are two ways you can link to a page. Either absolute link, which means the full domain, like the complete address, also known as a URL, or just the relative path to that page. So that works when you're already on the same website and you're linking to an internal page. So you can actually use the one you prefer. Now there are pros and cons to each, but this is beyond the scope of this video. Now in this case, this button will lead to the About page because this name About is actually what is called the slug of the page. So basically when you create a page, you give it a name and WordPress automatically is going to create a slug. If there are several words, you will see dashes between the words. So let me put it back to how it was. And now for the text, all you need to do is just select the text here and you can just change the text. So you could say about or about us. You get the idea. But once again, let me put it back to how it was. So let me click on update to save my work. Okay, now let's try with a buttons block. So I'm going to select my info box here and then I'm going to click on the plus sign and start typing button. Now the first one is the one from the vanilla core and the second one in blue is the one from Spectra. So I'm going to use this one. And as you can see, it put it just below. So I'm going to go to style, spacing, and just unlink the margin value. I'm just going to add a little bit of top margin so we can see clearly, but don't worry about this. We're going to delete this button, but it's just to show you. So once again, I can just click here to select the text and I'm just going to change it to let's go. And then with my button selected, I click on the content sub tab. Here I can put the link, so either relative or absolute. I'm going to show you how to get the absolute or how to get the slug for the relative. And if you want to know how to find these links, well, from the dashboard, just click on pages. And then if you want the relative URL, hover over the name of the page you want the link to, click on quick edit. And here is the slug. So in this case, the slug is about. But let's say you want the absolute URL. So I'm going to click on cancel. And then all I need to do is hover over where it says view, right click, and either click on copy or copy link address, depending on which browser you're using. So in my case, I'm going to click on copy link address. And if I go back to my page, I'm going to remove the pound sign and just right click and paste. And there you go. Here is the absolute URL. But if I needed just the relative URL, well, in this case, I would use just about, and that would be good. Now to demonstrate, let me click on update. And now if I go to the front end and refresh, as you can see, we now have the let's go button. And as I click on it, it takes us to the about page. As simple as that. Now let's go back and I'm just going to select my button block, click on the three dots and just delete. Next, let me update to save my work. And next, let me show you how to change images. So there are different types of images. So here, as you can see, we have an image here in the background, but we have some text on top. So I'm going to refer to these as background images. So for these, if you want to change those, make sure you select the block they're in. So if you want to be sure, click on the document overview and we see all of our containers here. And as I click on it, it goes from container to container. So you can see that the image spans the whole width and height of this container block. So it's a full container. So next I'm going to click on style and here it is. Here's our image. So I can click on change image and then I can select the image I want. In this case, I'm going to pick this one and then click on select. So next I'm going to click on update. Now let me go back to the front end and refresh. And there you go. Our image has changed. Okay, back in the WordPress editor, I'm going to change a few things, but first let's make sure that our container block is selected. And then in the right panel, I'm going to scroll down and where it says image overlay color, I'm going to change it to our third color in our color palette. And also I'm going to go back up, click on the general tab. And then where it says minimum height, I'm going to click on VH and make this 100. Then click on update. And now if you go back to the front end and refresh, as you can see, it's now full screen.